I guess we both took the red note. Fiona's exhausted.
No,
Oh,
I'm just like
perfect.
protesting, doing a look. I'm just like, whatever.
She's in look protest, and I support her.
I support you too. That's like,
Thanks.
I really like that. I might have to feel that as a
You
protest.
know what I mean? I feel like this is what
I
I
do.
look like, so whatever.
I really like that. I'm obsessed with that actually. I think I'm gonna
I
do
Yeah.
like it. Well, it's interesting, yeah, because I've been doing this, putting together this website and stuff, and it was like I have this picture, and it shows my creases here and my creases and whatever, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, fuck yeah,
Yeah.
let's go.
Yes.
You
Yes, you earn
know,
those.
I was like, I'm not living in
Yeah.
the world airbrushed, so
That's right.
this is how it is. I earned
And
these
I
wrinkles.
am gonna live in the world airbrushed, and we can
Yeah.
all make our
Yeah.
own choices.
Well, totally. Yeah. Again, it's like my body, my choice.
Yeah. My
It's sort
airbrush
of,
body, my choice.
yeah, and it's sort
We
of
should already
incredible.
be recording this, by
I know.
the
I think it
way.
is. Yeah, it's incredible how my body, my choice stops when someone doesn't think that's what you should be doing with your body.
Yeah. Oh, like my body, my choice, except for Botox and like sleeping with Republicans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God, sleeping with Republicans. I'm dead.
Not that I've ever done that before, except for the first time.
I think I have for sure.
Yeah, I did by accident.
Kassi Underwood is our glorious and esteemed guest today. And I cannot wait. I have been so excited about this conversation for months because I believe Cassie's take on cultural trends, dating, masculine, feminine energy, the list goes on. And Cassie's takes, I think, are revolutionary and brilliant. And I just can't wait to talk more about it, and especially with my glorious child here.
But I feel like we should start because I don't know what your job is really, and we can't introduce you because I don't know what it is. So maybe what is your job as the first question?
Like, I was thinking about this last night. I was like, what is my job? Like, what do I do? And I do a lot of different things. And I was like, am I an artist? I just
Yeah.
create whatever
Mm.
there. And I think that's probably on some level, that's what it is. But I teach metaphysics, I teach energy, and I also teach really practical kind of like skill building. If somebody's writing a book, if someone wants to learn how to make money, we start with the metaphysical components and then we expand that into what's true for you, what's going to be the truest expression of who you are. So, and
And
then
what does metaphysical mean?
yeah. Well, it's the idea that the world is not as we see it. So there's a lot more happening under the surface. And that we can use our minds and our experiences, our energy to shift reality and to attract things around us, to transform, to alchemize. And it's actually a really ancient feminine tool to be able to do that.
Cool.
I think it's so cool because when I was in high school, right, we took these, probably for you too, a career aptitude test, you know, and it was farmer, you know, postal worker, accountant, not what I got, but like these are the
Oh,
choices
Yeah.
in life.
what did you get?
And
I see that for you. Like when you said farmer, I was like, she does.
Yeah,
but
me
I actually
too.
would,
I
I
was
would,
like, wait.
I would love to be a farmer, but I wouldn't
Yeah.
want to do it. But like with help, with like people
Mhm.
around. But like
You want
you
to
know,
have a farm or you want to be a
I would
You
farmer?
love
want
to
to
have.
you would love to have a secondary home with a farm that other people take care of.
Okay, this is true.
Wait, what did you get though? I want to know.
Oh God, I don't remember. It's always, I don't remember what it was in high school, but all the jobs I've had, most of the jobs I've had as an adult were not on the form. Let's put it that way. So the idea that Fiona said to me when she was asking me about your work, Kassi, she goes, well, wait, what? Like, did she just like create this empire out of energy? And I was like, yes.
And we
Correct.
all do that. We're all creating all the time. So,
Right. And we all are. And the idea that what you see around you is what you're creating. This is the frequency you're pulling in around you. Is that right?
yeah, that's right. Mhm.
And are a lot of your clients like my mom, Brooklyn moms that are like, oh my God, whatever.
What's the, oh my
Yay!
God. Like
Kind
bad
of into a
yeah.
spirituality, badass, kind of single mom energy, and don't give a fuck, business women, you know what I mean?
They range. I have a really wide range of clients. I have some single mom, like Brooklyn badasses like Tara. And then I have women who are in their 30s who have never been married, women who are in their 30s who've been married a long time and have kids. And so I really have like such a wide range. And then what everybody desires, like my job is first and foremost to figure out what someone really wants, not just what they're saying.
Yeah, so like how do you like not advertise it, but when someone meets for you the first time, they're meeting with you to start a book or to just feel better in their vibe, what is the, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like what's the starting point?
Yeah, what's the starting point, or like how do people come to you? Like
How do you ascertain when you're speaking to somebody what they want versus what they really want? Which is what they really want. Is that right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of intuition. I think I just have I think I have a gift, but I do. I think I have, and I think we all have intuition. But I've honed mine to hear truth, and I've honed mine to hear what someone's truth is for them, what they believe their truth is. So I have a really good radar for being able to tell. I can feel it in my body, actually. If someone's telling the truth, I feel a certain way in my body, their truth. If they're telling me lip service, if they're saying what they think they should want, there's even, I've tried to even like figure out like what is the measure here? You know, what is happening when I'm getting this information? And I think a lot of things are happening. I think I'm really good at pattern recognition. I think I'm really good at noticing even if someone's like throat is constricting a little bit. I'm not doing all of that consciously, but sometimes someone will say something and I'll be like, no.
That's a lie.
Yeah. And they'll be like, oh yeah, that's a lie. What do you really want? And then we'll go deeper. And I'll say, you know, my job is such that I'll accidentally, and not accidentally, but I do like blurt things out. So I'm like, oh, did you really want to get married to him? We'll talk about the really hard questions. And then a lot of times someone's been holding it in for so long and it finally is seen that they get an opportunity to just say it. And I think it's
like
so
crazy.
powerful to see
Have you
it.
ever had a bad experience? Like you said something, they were like, don't say that to me. I was not lying.
Probably. Yeah, because sometimes I think I say things a little every now and then, especially when I've been working with a client for a while. It's usually not in the beginning, because in the beginning, someone usually just wants to be seen for what their truth is. But after time goes on, I've been like looking at truths all the time with you, and now you're bringing up this other thing. I don't even want to deal with that right now, you know? So
Yeah.
that would be an example. And I'm like that too when I'm being guided. If someone brings something up and I'm like, I'm already handling. I want to be delusional about that for another month.
Yeah. Deal with it later.
Yeah.
Right. I think it would be interesting to talk about dating for a minute and the concepts, because you've done a lot of really cool work in the area of polarity, particularly masculine, feminine polarity. It was pretty mind-blowing to me when I started to kind of really look at these concepts in the way that you talk about them. And then it's interesting when I go to talk about it with other people, how it gets misunderstood really easily, particularly to men. I think men are really lost on what is masculine energy, what is feminine energy. We all know we all hold both. I think most people kind of get that.
What are the signs that a man is not in their masculine energy versus a woman is not in their feminine energy?
And do we sometimes want men to be in their feminine energy, and sometimes we want women to be in their masculine energy? You know, in my female relationships, I desire masculine energy from my friendships sometimes, and I desire feminine energy from my friendships sometimes. I think we're at a cultural crisis point where women have been in their masculine doing, you know, you've said to me, Kassi, now that you believe modern mothering is masculine.
It's become masculine
Because it's so much management.
Yeah.
Instead of nurture and just love and presence, it's, I have to sign a million forms. I have to do this. I have to pick up this. I have to organize this. I have to run to work. I got to leave work. I got to find a babysitter. I got to all the things that create that. In my understanding is when I'm in my head, like losing my mind, organizing everything, I feel like I'm in masculine energy. I'm not in my receiver modality. I'm in my giving modality and execution modality. And one of the things that we've worked on is I'm really good at that. And I'm also really burnt out on it because it doesn't feel good. it's not joyful in my own body to be the execution queen. And I think actually it's not joyful for my children when I'm in execution queen, because my energy gets tighter, it gets more rigid. It's not actually how I want to be in the world. So I've said a lot of things.
I think that I struggle with this masculine feminine energy thing because I think they're just traits that like a man or a woman could have, and I can't connect the part where it's like a specific feminine energy thing. So if you want to like talk about that.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I just want to say that I appreciate so much how hard it is to talk about this, because so many of us really care about, I really care about people being able to be themselves no matter what that looks like. If someone if someone is transgender, I am all for it and they should be protected and cared for. If someone is a cisgender woman and wants to express herself in a very feminine way and kind of, use just be in her body all day and be completely taken care of, I'm all for that. I just think people should be able to be themselves, and also that life is so complex. And I don't know about y'all, but I'm just like, I love to experience myself in different ways. So getting to find out like I'm so grateful for all the years I have had to spend in masculine and developing those. I like literally just went like this because it's a muscle, and it's a muscle, each of these energies, and it's not so rigid as we make it out to be. We of course, like, we go through different phases where it's going to be more useful to be in our masculine and more masculine. It's going to be more useful to be more feminine or more fun, and we get to decide like what feels best to us in any given time of life. Now, there is actually science around, estrogen and oxytocin and testosterone and dopamine. And there are some people talking about this right now. I think it's really important not to gender people, not to make people be like, well, you were born with a penis and so you need to act like a man. It's not like that. It's more to say, well, you can actually increase your estrogen. There's methodical ways to do that. And you can increase your testosterone. And so you have the power to increase either one of these energies in your experience in your life. So I think a lot of education about it is really important. Cis women, when they increase their testosterone and what increases it, they've done studies, there's behaviors can increase it, which means acting a certain way in our lives, in our relationships, can increase testosterone. When a woman has too much testosterone, she's cranky. There's, again, studies on this. Cranky, irritable, pissed off. Yeah. And what increases testosterone is leadership and taking agency. Now, that could sound like so anti-feminist. I am a feminist to the core. I was born being like, everybody gets to be whoever they are. That's one of my core values, is be yourself. And truth is one of my core values too.
Well, to piggyback on that, I try to talk to my significant other about some of this stuff, and he's just like, what are you talking? He's like,
wait, I get it after what you said though. Like I actually totally get it.
He's like, this is like a 1950s, like you don't want, and
no.
I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Because there was not financial empowerment in the 50s. And we, a lot of the more recent waves of feminism came about because we didn't have financial empowerment. We didn't have protection physically. We actually weren't being protected by the masculine. And so then we had to protect ourselves. And even, I was born in the 80s, and I was always applauded for my masculine traits, but my feminine traits were embarrassing,
I don't get any validation for I get validation for you're a baller, you're a badass, you do this, you built this, you get so much done, you do this. And I think in the last 5 years of my dating, the minute I felt like I was really into those parts of me, I thought to myself, I don't think I want this, because I don't want to be valued for my hard work and how productive I am.
I'm with you. I don't either. Because I don't want to have to work this hard, you know? Like
Yeah.
I'd rather not, so please don't value that because I have no
Yeah.
interest in a relationship where I would be financially responsible, although I still want my own money and financial independence, which sounds insane to say if you don't understand feminine and masculine energy principles and what actually creates polarity and who benefits from it.
Well, I feel like there's certain things, even in my relationship, that I would just not have. And the explanation is because I'm the girl. I don't want to pay when we go out. I don't want to have to pick a bag up. I don't want to have to drive. I don't want to have to do any of those things, just point blank. And the only explanation is because I'm a woman. And that could sound crazy, but there's tons of stuff that I do for him inherently that are womanly. Aesthetics of his house and his room and his clothes and getting him nice little things to make it nice and cute and whatever. And he expects me to do that. So it's like, whatever. But I think that just like inherently expecting that because I'm a woman is not good basis if you don't have underlying feminine energy. You know what I'm saying?
But I feel like
Knowledge.
women now are getting called out for wanting both, right? We're so excited. We can vote. We can make our own money. We can have credit cards. We can have a mortgage. Yay! And then now it's 50 years later and they're like, yeah, but we also want to be cherished and we want to receive and we want to be taken care of and we want to be held and we want all this very feminine receiving energy vibes. And so I think men are really fucking confused. Because
Yeah.
unless you, like I can get my own Ubers, I can get myself places, I can do all this stuff.
But I don't want to.
No, because I'm not going to show up hot if I'm stressed out
Yeah.
figuring out like how I'm going to transfer subways and walk a mile, and I have just spent like $1,000 on my look and paid for babysitting. I don't want to pay. I don't want to be on the subway. I definitely don't want to pay for the Uber. I have
No.
to make my day.
They don't do any of that. They don't get ready. They don't spend money. Like, that's what I always say to Harry. Well, what do you think this outfit costs? What do you think this makeup that makes my face look so fucking good costs? What do you think all of this costs? Definitely more than the dinner you're buying me. Or even net, the dinners you're buying me versus, like, all that I spend into putting in my looks.
What if we didn't spend all the money though? What if we just didn't? But then
Yeah, well, so that's the thing about it is even it's not about the money, but a lot of guys will somehow once we talk about the money, they'll then understand it. But it's you know, if this goes further, you're going to be
You're paying for that too.
this hair is
Yeah.
$12,000 a year. Like,
Yeah.
you know? And so I think that the main thing is if a lot of men want a woman who's like soft and gentle and feels relaxed. What we bring is slowness and just the relaxation, playfulness, fun, and that's a huge value. We've undermined the feminine in general, and so we don't get fully what a value fun is and relaxation is. We bring all of that, and if we can't be in our heads and figuring out, oh God, how much am I spending on this dinner? Is he gonna pay? Am I gonna pay? Like, you don't even want that to be a question. How am I going to get there? What are the subway? You don't want to be thinking about that all that, or you're going to be in your masculine, show up, maybe a little irritable or competitive, or because you've been leading yourself, you know, like.
Yeah.
So, you know, the way you show up isn't going to feel good.
I feel like I have been talking about this with my friends a lot. Me and my friend had like a whole talk yesterday about how we're jealous of our boyfriends' living situations because with girls, drama, the group chat is tense at times. You know, like if you don't clean a dish, it's like about your personality. But our boyfriends are like, yo, shut the fuck up, clean the dish. What is wrong with you? You know what I mean? And it's just very chill and they just yell at each other. And that like made us be like, are we like having gender dysphoria? Are we having gender envy of these guys? And I feel like I do have a lot of masculine traits, so that's why I like, also a little bit struggle. Like I feel like I dress feminine and look feminine, but I have been told that I look feminine and have a man's brain many times. But I feel good in that. So what's that? A woman who like likes to be in her masculine.
Well, and then they don't have to learn how to be in their feminine. They should enjoy the hell out of their masculine.
Yeah. But like, how do you differentiate? Like, what's the difference between like a woman who should be in her feminine and a woman who should be in their masculine?
Because
or is it not? Yeah, she wants to be.
Yeah, it's what she wants. Yeah, like a woman wouldn't come. She might come to me and be like, "Tell me how to make a bunch of money," and I'm like, "I got you, girl. Like, let's make some money in your masculine because masculine is great for making money." But she's not going to find a problem because it's pretty countercultural to be in your feminine in every way. It's pretty countercultural. So you need support when you're doing it. And it's misunderstood a lot. So a woman in her masculine is not really countercultural anymore. She
Mm.
would have been a long time ago, not even a long time
100%.
ago.
Like your Catherine Hepburn in a suit. It was like, oh
Yeah.
my God, she wears pants,
Yeah,
you
she wears,
know?
doesn't need a man. Yeah. Yeah.
But
And
now trad wives are countercultural. Let's talk trad. The
Yeah.
rise of the trad wife in the culture is really interesting. And I have so many New York baller. What even the fuck is that? We're going backwards. We're going backwards in time. And I don't see it that way. I see it as very symbolic of what I know a lot of women who work really hard, you know, go for what they want, go out and get it. I don't wait for anyone to give me anything. You know, I'm out ahead of the pack. Like, and what I think to answer your question, Fiona, I think when Cassie's like, but it's not enjoyable. It's not pleasurable. I am not in joy and pleasure doing it. I mean, I was for many years, certainly, but I think just like any muscle, you burn it out. You can work it too hard and it's sore and it hurts.
yeah,
And
it hurts.
and it no longer it just doesn't feel good. The Tradwife thing, I became fascinated. I mean, that ballet, what's her name?
Ballerina Farms.
Ballerina Farm. I obsessed. I was like, and another kid, and more bread, and she's twirling around the kitchen, and I'm like sitting here drowning in email and Slack, and I'm like, fuck, like it looks good. You know, even
That
though
does
we
not
don't
look
get,
good to
she's
me.
running a corporate empire, basically.
It's also
But
it's also marketing.
it doesn't look good to you, Fiona. I heard you.
No. Yeah, it is marketing. Yeah,
It's
like
like,
who knows what she's actually living.
Who knows? Who
Any
knows?
of these chicks. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think this speaks to something else that is a problem. Do you hear a lot of men coming down on Tradwife?
No.
no.
Yeah, me neither. So this is a thing where we have to look at our internalized sexism,
Mm.
internalized limitations of other women. And this is true whether we are trying to limit women's emotions, their sexual expressions, their motivations for doing things, and just not understanding really like why someone would want to do something and why it actually would make a lot of sense. So women get really turned on by attention. Like we like attention. And we might act like we don't. Like I did for a very long time. I had like somebody else's picture on my Facebook as my Facebook picture for a while. Yeah, that's how much I was.
And we're told wanting it to, she just wants attention.
She's
It's like,
narcissistic, she's
Well,
selfish.
yeah, obviously.
Yeah, and now I'm like, I got to own how much I love attention. I mean, it makes women are hot for attention. And even like sexually, I remember having this realization, I just have to feel hot sexually. That's what turns me on. I have to feel hot. Doesn't matter what, like I have to. And it's the same thing. It's like giving that attention to ourselves. And so when we see a woman who is marketing herself in a trad way, it's like, wait, isn't your whole point that you get to not have to work? But this is marketing, so you're clearly working. But the whole thing is it's attention. She gets attention. And she gets to be like, la da da da, look at my beautiful life. Women love that. It's so fun. I totally get why she would want to do that. But as women, we're taught not to want attention, so we have to project something onto that without knowing that about ourselves or even without owning it. So you tell a woman that for the first time, and a lot of times they'll be like, I don't like attention. And it's like, yeah, girl, but you kind of do. Like, let's see if you don't like attention.
how do you square that with like the attention economy that we're living in with reels and this and that and influencers till the end of time? I think I can say collectively we're pretty burnt out on like, hi, here I am with my whatever, that thing, like that whole personal,
Yeah.
but then again, I don't know, there's like a reconciliation there a little bit to be
I mean, I
made.
guess the way that I would think of it is like we all get to live our own lives, and it's great we have these channels through which we can share ourselves without having to go through anything official. And so it's great. Go for it. Enjoy the attention, and also make sure you have a spiritual practice so that you're not using it to regulate yourself.
Mm.
Oh, that's good.
These
You're not
people who
using
are
it
like
as
getting so many likes and all this stuff, you cannot not be addicted to your phone. Like, it's just such a hit. And then if the hit goes away, you're like, fucked.
Yeah, that you can't, the whole thing is so addictive, even like the intermittent confirmation of people liking you, and like sometimes you get
Mhm.
a hit, sometimes you don't. Yeah, so we have to take responsibility for our own minds, our own spiritual practices, I think.
Yeah.
I find a lot of women, I mean, a lot of my friends are the breadwinners. As I go through all my, most of my friends live in, truth be told, in New York or LA or London or, like big cities. And a lot of them are the breadwinners for whatever reason. The husbands are artists or they're, in the healing arts. It's just not as prevalent. I don't have that. I personally don't run in circles where the man is the breadwinner and the women are not working. I know this world exists. I just think I'm not in it. Obviously there's like the traditional Upper East Side and the Greenwich, Connecticut housewife and that whole thing, Real Housewives of Orange County.
I feel like that's because of who you are. Like you were never friends with like women that weren't working because you were working. Where would you meet them?
Right. Like when
You know what
when
I
I
mean?
had you, Fiona, I remember going to the playground when I would be off on the weekends and I would have these moms and well, we do a mommy's group on Tuesday. I'm like, Tuesday? What are you talking about Tuesday? Like I'm at work.
Yeah.
Like I
It's just
can't.
opportunity. Like
And
where
they
would
were
you
all like best friends and like having a whole thing. And I was obsessed with being with my baby because it was Saturday and I was with her at the park and I was like, I'm the mom today, not my babysitter.
Mommy day.
Yeah, but I didn't know anybody at the
Yeah.
park.
I hear you. And it's a different energy. You're going to have less to talk about with someone who is staying home with their children if you're running a business as you have been and having your kids and being a single mom. I mean, it's a very different life.
What do you say to a young woman or an older woman who is, say, in love with someone who makes less money than them or can't do the caretaking in the financial way? A lot of women say, well, he takes care of me in so many other ways, it doesn't matter. And, for whatever reason, a woman can end up in a very lucrative profession and then the man is not or whatever. It's a tricky thing, because money does buy so much comfort
It does.
and security.
It does. So the question would be, does she have a problem with the fact that he doesn't make money or make as much as she does?
I feel like the hardest is if it's not that you have a problem with it, but you would love if it was the exact same person with money. You know what I mean?
Boom! BP! Nailed it.
Yeah. Well, if you're willing to put in some work around it, you can definitely. I mean, any man can make a lot of money, because any woman can make a lot of money. Money
Mhm.
is an expression of our energy, and our energy is influenced, of course, by culture and by how we see others seeing us, by representation, and also by our upbringing, and so many other things. But so what I would do is anytime that he buys you something, like if you were with a guy like this, anytime he buys you something, be like, oh my God, just really thank him so much and give him so much praise for it. And then, like, maybe start telling him your dreams for something, but not out of reach for him. So gradually raise, the stakes, and then encourage him to apply for things that make more money or to start his own business. I don't think everyone is cut out for entrepreneurship, even though it's a lucrative way to make money. But men respond really well to appreciation and to encouragement. They don't respond that well to criticism. So
That's such good advice, like, actually.
you guys,
Yeah, like what you focus on. I think you call it man training, I believe.
well, Mama Gina calls it man training.
Mama
Yeah.
Gina, oh yeah. Mama
Yeah,
Gina.
yeah, and just making sure to show them. And my mom taught me this too. If they put one dish in the dishwasher, you go like, "Oh my gosh, that's it!" Give it all your feminine energy, and then they'll be like, "Oh yeah, I put a dish in the dishwasher," and then the next day maybe there'll be two dishes in the dishwasher, and so over time you can create that.
That is genuinely such good advice. Wow.
I feel like that's like a super hot, because like I think what happens is, I mean, I certainly have done this, is like you just are just chronically discontented, and then you're just giving that chronic discontent energy, which just creates more chronic discontent energy.
And it's
So
a cycle of like, then if we're responsible for more, our testosterone is higher, we're a little bit cranky, And then we're also hormonal, going through our menstrual cycles every month. And then we're also over managing. So it just creates, it's like, that's why we're having like a real crisis right now.
It's a crisis.
We're having a real crisis in romantic relationships.
It's a crisis. I think men are just going online because honestly, I would guarantee you half of my avoidant ex-boyfriends are in relationships with AI bots. 100%.
Well, half?
No, not half. Maybe that's strong. But I can think of a couple that I guarantee you are like, fuck this. I'm not dealing with women's needs or desires anymore. I'm just dealing with an AI bot.
Well, isn't that great for us?
Yeah, because like they're just
they're off the streets.
I'm like, right on. I mean, if you know you can't, I think it's great. As I don't know I'm sure there are negative consequences. That's the only thing. Now we're objectifying. But, on one hand, I think it's really wise if somebody can't take care of someone's needs and is not willing to try and grow. Grow. Either person in a relationship has to grow because somebody's needs might conflict with others. But if they're not, take yourself off the market.
Yeah, true.
I mean, that's compassionate.
Yeah, not wasting our time.
Right. I think that thing of, I have the money to pay for my own Ubers and stuff, but recently I went to someone's house and I was spending time, and then I left at midnight. I had to leave at midnight and was tired, and I was going to spend the night. I said, not blah, blah, blah. Anyway, and then I left and I saw the Ubers were like $75. And I just said, I don't want to spend $75. So I just said, I'm going to walk to the train. And it was midnight. And I walked and I said, okay, well, bye. And I was seething inside. I wanted to say, oh, hey, can you grab me an Uber? Sweetly, and I didn't because I felt like I would sound like a spoiled brat. And then I looked at the Ubers myself, and because I said, I'm responsible for my own transportation. Nobody's responsible. I did that whole routine. And then I was like, you know what? Fuck that. I'm going to be tough. I'm going to go to the subway. It's midnight. Who gives a shit? I'm a New York girl. Who cares? And I went on the subway and I was just like, God damn it. I wish I just asked him to get me an Uber. And it's not because I can't afford it. Because I think a lot of men will be like, but what's your problem? Like, you make your own money. This is what they'll say. I would never ask you to pay for my Uber. But I want to know that the man wants me home safe, that it's late at night, that he doesn't want me walking around, that he wouldn't want to put me in a position where I'm tired, where I'm uncomfortable. He wants me to be comfortable and safe and taken care of and not have to take that financial hit. It still feels problematic in my mind. I still struggle. What would you say in that moment if you were coaching? What would be the feminine energy navigation of that situation?
So a couple of things, actually. I heard someone recently tell me that a woman asked him to send her an Uber X on like the first date. And I think that a lot of times we're expected to be like, and I think a lot of times women, we will, to make ourselves appear like a better candidate or something, we'll say like, oh my God, we'll say something like that when what we need to do is band together and be like, oh yeah, I don't blame her. It's exhausting. I saw this hilarious video yesterday. I liked it so much I sent it to one of my friends twice. It said, when a man tells you that you're not all about the money like all the other girls, and then it has this guy, he's playing the woman, and he goes like he's choking, like fake choking, and basically being like, of course I care about it, but it's not for the reason that they think, and that's the issue, is that it's not about the money. I can make my own money. It's about the feeling of being provided for and protected. And because when we feel provided for and protected, first of all, a lot of us feel very feral in the world. A lot of us don't have a tight-knit family or community. And so to have a man we want to see from the very start, is he going to be able to protect me, not protect people, not impress me with his career, protect me and provide for me. So I want to see, is that something that he's interested in doing? Now, I think that it's a really good test to say something, in addition to supporting anything that, not blindly supporting what other women have said that might be, talked about with men, but maybe providing context for energy. In the situation, what do you do? That's what you're asking about. So And this, what I would personally do is just, if it comes up naturally, I might drop a hint. I don't think necessarily the first, if you're meeting somebody off of an app, for example, I think all of that goes way too fast. I think the app expectations are insane to me. We used to get to know each other for years in a context, in a social context, and then like go into, okay, now I'll, go pick her up at her house. I'm going to take her on a date. And then you already know something about the guy. You already know his friends, and you have context. The idea that on the first date we're going to get an Uber sent, and then that we're supposed to kiss a guy, touch mouths on the second time I'm meeting somebody, that is a lot. Like,
no, it's ridiculous when you think about it. It is ridiculous.
I get that, but I also think when I was on the apps, I was like, I hate texting. I don't want to do this, like, get to know you for a week, even a day before. If we're going to meet up, we should just meet up, and I can just know if I like you. Like, I don't want to text.
Yeah. Meeting up is great.
All for it. But I think what Kassi's saying is that in the olden days, it's like you knew where his village, you knew his parents, you knew where his neighborhood.
You're not just kissing some random guy off the street.
Yeah, you knew his priest, you knew his rabbi, you were part of a community,
Yeah. Which is why getting set up is the best way to meet someone.
Now it's some algorithmic fucking weirdo that's like, you may like this person. And it's like,
and all of the guys that I've actually like kind of pursued off an app have been like, there's just like a thing about them. They're not like weird, but I'm just like, you're weird. I don't know why. Like, you're just weird. I don't know. Like,
it's
you know what I mean? It's just like, I just don't know you. Like, I just don't know you. And like, if you know someone in context of something, you like get their thing. Like, you get, okay, you're from
why they're weird.
Like, you know why they're weird. I've spent like a month with a guy consistently seeing them off the thing, and the whole time I was just like, what is your deal? Like, I can't pinpoint it, but you're just weird.
You could call it traditional values, but I think rather than calling it that, I think it's sort of what works.
Yeah.
It's not so much traditional or non-traditional. I just think that getting to know somebody over time, non-sexually, in a non-sexual context, you do get to know who they are, and how they treat people and all that stuff. But back to what you said about the guy with you want to feel like they're going to take care of you. I don't need them to buy Ubers for everybody. And it's funny because if I left a girlfriend's house at midnight, I wouldn't have this feeling. But if it's somebody you're dating and you're thinking about making a life with and setting up a home with or whatever, then you start to think about those kind of things,
Yeah, you do. And it's important because I'm not going to be in my feminine energy if I'm fending for myself. If I'm having to navigate, if I'm by myself in New York, I love being in my masculine. I'm walking around, leather jacket and just, I'm zipping around the subways, getting shit done. Like, it's really fun to have that range of access to myself. In a partnership, I want to feel having a lot of sex. I want to feel like cute and like little. I don't want to feel like, hey, did you put the dishes in the dishwasher? Like,
I have a friend whose husband calls her the general. And it's like, why? The general over here is telling us what to do. And I'm like, I am good at being the general. I'm amazing at it. But I don't enjoy it.
Yes. We've had to build on aspects of ourselves that are not necessarily our strengths, or build on them in ways that we wouldn't have done otherwise, that are a function of not feeling protected, not feeling provided for. I was 6 months pregnant when I started my business. I took 2 weeks off, and so this is like a deep thing. I wanted to be a mom my whole life, and then I forgot to account for the money, which I don't know why. That'd be like, you would think, given my childhood, that would be like the number one thing I would think about, but I just didn't even think about it until I was like, oh my God, we need a crib, we need a lot of things. We're gonna have to pay for daycare. I'm in grad school. It was just So it's like a really tender thing, yeah.
This is one more thing this is like a controversial opinion, but I think that, and I talk about this with my friends a lot, that a lot of the gender dysphoria that people are experiencing, and to be clear, like, I'm obviously like 100% pro gay people and trans people and whatever, but I think because society has created these strict gender roles for us, if you don't feel like you fit into that, that's when you have a gender dysphoria moment. And sometimes. And I think that if there was these less strict boundaries, then people would just feel free to be themselves instead of have to change their outward appearance or stuff like that. And without these strict stereotypes, you could just kind of be more masculine or just kind of be more feminine.
Right.
And there's obviously a different set of people that I want to change my gender. Like, this is something I feel clear about, and that's all good and amazing. But I do think that if there was these less strict binaries, then people could just flow around and like be whatever. And I think that's a part of why there, now like there always has been gay people, but like so many more of these cases of like, because you don't feel aligned with your gender and you're just,
Right.
Well,
you don't have to cut your body to have put in, or do something, change your genitalia to experience masculine energy or feminine energy.
But I think that that's society's fault.
Yeah.
If you're growing up and you're like a little girl and like you want to play soccer and run around, like that was me. I was such a tomboy, but I was just like allowed to be that, and like it didn't really matter. I had no, and that's like what's different about me than a trans person. But I think that that's where I kind of start to trip up with these masculine, feminine things. Who cares? Like, it's just traits.
Well, and they're not, I think that when we think of them as traits, as like clusters of traits that appear in everyone, and they, like, if we leave them as traits, we lose something. That's what's happening, I think, is it because what we can do is take those traits and accentuate them and by doing certain things. So with soccer could be very feminine or it could be very masculine. It depends on how you approach it, because soccer's playing, and playing is feminine, and being, sassy, and I don't know if you had like a kind of way that you would do it, but that could be very feminine. Now, being the captain of the soccer team is going to develop more testosterone, because that is a masculine activity, but it's great. If you enjoy it, do it.
Yeah, totally.
Well, it's also fun to like role play, and sense like with a group of women, I could say, okay guys, we're going to plan the trip to Miami. I will take on the masculine leadership role, and I will research 6 hotels, and I will send you flight times and blah blah blah, and I will do it around this planning of this event. But I want to feel a different way when I go home with my husband or my partner. I want to feel I'm not doing all that shit, But I like the idea that you can go, okay, I'm going to masculine contain you around this issue, around this event or this experience or this moment in time, I think a lot of mothers have to provide masculine containment for their children.
Yeah, or for a partner to get home at the end of the day and realize, if you have a masculine energy cis male partner, to get home at the end of the day and he realizes, okay, she prefers to be in her feminine and she's been working all day and it takes 2 hours to get into your feminine. It's not like just a woo theory. It actually takes time.
The nervous system, it needs to
you get your oxytocin, regulate yourself, and so for a partner to say like, hey, like, obviously it wouldn't be hot if he was like, I know you've been in masculine energy all day. Like, the last thing I want. It's just like, let me take the kids, let me handle this. That's like the hottest thing. It's like, I'm handling this, and then for them actually to handle it.
And I think that what's important in that is that you're not just asking them to do it because you don't want to. It's like, if you do this, then I'm hot, and like you're gonna get some too. Like,
well,
I feel like that's important.
Relaxed. I'll feel relaxed.
Yeah.
So here's a question. How would you describe a man who is comfortable in masculine energy and enjoying masculine energy in a healthy way?
That's a great question. So I feel that a really healthy masculine man enjoys providing, enjoys the challenge of figuring out how to, because it is a challenge and it's not easy. Often they don't feel like they're getting thanks either. So really like enjoys that process, and also loves to protect in all ways. And that includes that he is going to be consistent with his communication, not hot and cold. Hot and cold is unclear, and that is feminine energy. He is going to text first. Sitting back, there's a lot of guys out there who are hearing fucking terrible dating advice that they should sit back and wait for a woman to text.
Like, what? Literally the worst advice, the most like pussy drying advice in the entire world. Sorry.
It really is, and it's amazing. I mean, it's these
Yes.
people have high degrees, and they're telling men to sit back and wait for her to text. What that does, here's why that is feminine energy. Because we want a man who will fight for us and who will overcome his own anxiety for us. It is putting us in the position of having to have the anxiety. It's putting us in our masculine. The sperm swims to the egg. So we need, come to us.
In like a deep biological sense, like
Yes.
come to us.
Come to us.
You do the work. You do it.
When my boyfriend was pursuing me, he told me after the fact that he manifested me. And he was like, the minute I saw a picture of you, there's absolutely no way that she's not going to be mine. And did it. And that is hot. There was no question. He was going to pursue it, blah, blah, blah. And that, I think, is masculine energy.
Yeah, that is super hot. Yes, because it's a goal. He set a goal and he went for it and he didn't
And I felt that in the process. Like, I've been pursued by guys who are not in their masculine. And that was not the vibe.
It's like annoying.
I had an ex-boyfriend who ended up being a woman. Looking at that dynamic versus the dynamic with, not that either were bad or whatever, but it was very clear. I knew that he liked me. I was the one to decide if I wanted to accept his pursuit. Like, do I want this? And I had like a month to think about it and whatever, you know what I mean? And that's smooth sailing.
That is really smooth sailing and super hot. Yeah, just a man pursuing. I think it's so hot if a guy double texting, going out of their way. That is hot to me. And what happened, I just want to say what has happened, because I think everyone's confused. I don't want to make men who haven't been doing that feel bad, because I get it. You're being told by experts to do this. Mm-hmm. But what these experts are doing is they are coddling men's fears rather than empowering men. And so that's the issue. And this is the same thing with internet behavior. It has to make the woman feel safe. If we go and we are seeing you liking a bunch of women's pictures and like engaging with other women, we don't feel safe. And it's like, well, why isn't? Because we don't feel safe, dude. It doesn't.
And
feel
then they make it. You're so insecure. You're so insecure.
And it's not our insecurity. It's theirs. It's their insecurity, because it's signaling. So whether you're in a relationship or not, if you're going and liking other people's pictures, you're signaling, hey, look at me. I see you. And so if you're doing that while in a relationship or even in a talking stage when you're wanting to secure someone's trust, it's like it immediately we're not going to feel safe. And women, we're all very intuitive. We're going to feel it, even if we don't know it.
Do you think men, because we've been like, okay, men need to get more in touch with their feelings. They need to become more emotionally available. They need to raise their emotional IQ, blah, blah, blah. Like, that's patois of the last 30 years, right? So great. Like, men are now in touch with their feeling. I'm feeling really anxious. I'm feeling really insecure. I'm feeling really this. Okay, cool. And now I think a lot of those, I've had a conversation with a man recently and they were like, yeah, but you say you want that, but you don't. It's like not, you actually don't. You want men in touch with their feelings, but you want them to also
privately
over them quickly.
Yeah.
But you should do that in the bathroom. No, I'm just kidding.
By themselves. Don't let me see it.
And get busy and get to work.
Like be awesome and do everything to be the most emotionally mature, but do not let me see one beat of sweat about it. Like, I do not want to know anything.
It's a lot. Like, are we crazy? Are we crazy?
No. Here's what's happening. I feel like this is something I feel passionately about. So women, we need containment physically, financially, emotionally, and sexually. Okay? And I've talked about some of the ways emotionally, a guy who has a strong grasp on his feminine can be a really good masculine energy container, because he's going to know what he can do to make a woman feel safe. And all the guys who've gotten the idea that you should make a woman feel unsafe, by the way, like, that is going to create, you're just going to attract a very unhealthy woman. That's what you're going to get. If that's, so who's going to become addicted to those kinds of inconsistent signals. But with the and a lot of guys who are emotionally adept will know what could fuck with someone. They will know that because they're emotionally and psychologically adept. But if they can use those powers for good and focus it, when a man is with a woman, focusing it on his ability to provide containment and sharing, but a lot of guys these days are making it all about them. It's not that, it's that they've taken that emotional work and then become self-centered with it. Nobody should become self-centered with it. We should all be in care for each other. And so I do think we want to see it. We just want to see it where it's like in a communication.
Motto at Liam's school is men for others.
Ooh.
It's a Jesuit school. And I remember hearing that and being, yes. Like, I remember just being like, yes.
Has that really affected him at all, though?
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know that I'm seeing that motto in him.
Well,
I saw him bringing food. I think he's a caring kid.
I think he is. I just think he has a very efficient masculine energy mother, and I don't think he thinks I need anything. So anytime that I'm like, I'm sick, everyone thinks I'm like faking it. And I'm like, no, I'm sick. I desire care. They don't believe me.
I know.
Am I right?
We're used to like being like.
I feel like I have to be like maimed or like paraplegic or something.
Well, you are the mom.
But see, Kassi, you're the mom.
At a certain age, it is appropriate for her to start teaching, boy how to be caring for
a caregiver.
Yeah, and to like be chivalrous. It's chivalry. I don't know. I was raised in Kentucky, so I'm just like a lot of stuff. I feel like my friends, if they were to see this that I grew up with, they'd be like, "What?" Like if they've been married for a long time, they're like, "Wait, what?" I have dated guys who would not hold a bag for me, or who let the door slam in my face, and I'm like, "Excuse me."
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, a quick thing on that. I mean, on the subway. I'm amazed in New York City, right? These dudes are just sitting there staring at their phones, manspreading on the subway. And I'm like,
I'm here. Hello.
Do you know how, like, I genuinely think women would be like throwing themselves sexually at men if they just got up and offered seats. Do you need help with your bag? Like, just that alone in the public.
So hot.
Women would be like, oh, thank you. Like, they would be like, because we're so used to going it alone and doing everything by ourselves that someone carries one little thing for me and I'm like, oh my God, thank you. Dudes,
and further than that, I think that it needs to be not something that is like we're thanking them for. You
no,
can
100%.
thank them, but it should just be baseline.
But you want to give them the encouragement so they do it again.
Yeah. That one dish. Yeah, well, the thing of it is, like, from a metaphysical perspective, we're seeing it because now we're expecting guys to just, like, be a certain way. And so what I've started to do is just really look for the guys who are being gentlemen. Like, we're talking about guys being gentlemen. That's basically what we're talking, And so I look for it, and I have over time trained myself to see it more, and I'm experiencing it more. So when I get on the subway, now, it used to be I would get on there with my son, and it was just nobody would stand up, and I'm there with, like, a little kid. And now, multiple guys will try to stand up. And he's older now, Like, I need But, yeah. Yeah, so if you just continue to, like, focus on what is working, you're going to see more of that.
That's the metaphysical trick there.
And that's a great way to end, I feel like.
Kassi, thank you so, so much. I feel like, honestly, we just scratched the surface because there's so much depth to this topic, and it's so hitting right now between loneliness epidemic, plummeting birth rates, plummeting marriage rates, plummeting just relationship sex, like bucking rates, plummeting social rates. The interconnectedness of this and what the polarity does, I think, for society is so major. And without it, we become like just neutered, like bots, really. And I almost feel like big tech is like, okay, great. Now we've neutered them. Now they're desperate, but they have needs, and they're going to put them online, and then we're going to monetize it. And so now big tech is monetizing our neutered desire, right? By like entertainment and scrolling and whatever the fuck is going on. So I feel like this polarity work is world saving, culture saving, humanity saving work. So thank you.
Thank you. This has been so much fun. You all are such a blast. Like, let's do it again.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye, you all.